Let's also then talk a little bit about, I think, another area that maybe has contributed to your growth, or at least supported it. And I'd love to get your perspective, which is building a team, right? So you've kind of started to add people, or assistants and so forth. Just talk us through like kind of what you've done and what your thought process has been, or any mindset shifts that you've had in regards to building a team, and having people to enable you to continue to see growth.
Yeah, so I know that a lot of people, I think, at least when they own businesses, they struggle with delegating and giving things up. Like day one, I was like, who could I delegate to? That was really my thought. By that point, worked in large organizations, smaller organizations, where I knew that once you had a team, you could get so much more done. And I wanted to build a team, but I also wanted to be responsible about building that team. And so I know that I needed to bring on a person or other team members when I had enough work to sustain that. And so I really just worked in the business, on the business, to hit some pain points, because I wanted to see what it felt like to do my own books, to do my own scheduling, all of those different pieces that I then ended up delegating out to other people. I wanted to feel what it was like. And I also wanted to understand it so I could explain it to others and be able to have intelligent conversations with them. So the first person that I brought on board was an assistant who's still with me now. And it was, once I brought her on, I was able to 10x the amount of work that I could get done, the amount of things I could get done. Her talents really complemented mine, and her skill set really complemented mine. So where I was not as great, she was stellar. And so it really, when I brought her on, I was able to do so much more. And
What
even
kind
with
of
more
things is she
clients.
doing for you, just so everyone can have a sense of like what was the low hanging fruit that you delegated to her as quickly as you
Mhm.
could, that really freed you up to spend more time on the high value tasks in the business?
Yes, it was scheduling. It was doing first drafts of things. So even saying, oh, thanks so much for these comments. I'll put them into the agreement, or I'll put them into the document. Doing those types of tasks where you think, oh, this is not going to take a lot of time. I'll just, I'll knock this out in 15 minutes. And then 35 minutes later, you're like, oh, I'm done. And you think again, oh, that didn't take a lot of time, but you have to
Right.
multiply that out. And so just being able to say, can you handle my calendar? Can you handle all my scheduling? Can you, somebody says, hey, we have time to meet, then I just copy her in and she takes it from there. Being able to handle social media posting, marketing. Again, I'm coming up with the content, but I'm also brainstorming with her, because again, she's really good at social media strategy, and knows what's out there, and is able to say, oh, let's think about this together, and then being able to implement. Because I think execution, it when it's just you, it can be pretty difficult, and you can delay things. But she was able to just really step in very quickly and help with a lot of execution.
Awesome. And just kind of talk us through a little bit of what you're looking and thinking about now in terms of team, any other team members in play, any kind of future hires that you see. Just what are your thoughts in terms of the team going forward, and what you're looking at?
Yes. So my assistant is now going to become an employee, and she is my program coordinator now. And that really means that she focuses on project management, on doing a lot of the partner outreach and engagement, joining me on client calls, helping out with check-ins and strategy check-ins and accountability check-ins with my clients. So doing a lot more of the substantive lifting. And so what happens now is we have a need for someone who's focused on relationships and operations. So we're thinking of like a relationships and operations assistant or associate who can do the calendaring, do the scheduling for the entire organization, not just me, helping out with the operational tasks that come up, helping out with the client asks that come up as well. So that's definitely an immediate need. And then bringing on an attorney who is really familiar with nonprofits and philanthropies, and having the ability to both advise from a legal perspective, but also from an operational perspective as well, which is actually going to be quite hard, because usually you find one or the other lawyers who can, advise on the operational pieces, but they really just want to do operations. They don't want to do the marking up of agreements and things like that, or you find the reverse. So those are the two critical hires that I have next, and that should happen within the first quarter of next year.
And with the lawyer,